I mean, look at you. If you didn't get a second chance, you probably wouldn't be sitting there.
Exactly right. I mean, I have a felony and it was a dangerous crime. We need second chances and we need to believe in something that's a second chance, right? You can't just cut someone off.
Is there any second chance you don't believe somebody should get?
Welcome to the Chris Estrada Podcast, brought to you by Extreme Media Group. Hire them for all your podcast rentals, photography, and videography. So let's get into it. So on today's show, we have three other guests today. We have none other than Chris Estrada. We have Kaden Flanagan and Dominick Mercado. Is it Mercado?
Mercado.
Yeah, that too. Dominick's in the house. So these young men are close to me, so I want to have them on the show. They're all doing big things. They're all in their own spaces. Some of them are cross over into the same spaces, but I think these young guys have a lot to say, and so we wanted to do a podcast especially for you guys. Let's get into it, guys. So we have a few topics. Dominick?
Yeah?
Are you ready for the topics?
Always.
Should we say them now, or should we just go into them?
Well, I think we should introduce ourselves.
I love it. So what do you do, Dominick?
Well, I'm Dominick. I just barely met Kaden today, so I
This
guess
is like, hey, this is like I never been on Alcohol Anonymous, but you'd almost have to like stand up like, I'm Dominick, guys. I'm a crackhead alcoholic.
Do you want me to stand up?
Nah, we'd have to change the camera angle.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm Dominick. I'm the host of the Highlight Podcast, so go follow me. Antonio put the link down below so they can click on that and hit the subscribe button.
Why do you call it highlight? Are you like a highlighter?
No, it's like a smoke and drink alcohol.
Oh, so you're smoking weed, you're high?
Yeah.
And you're lighting it up?
Well, like light beer.
So you're high and you drink light beer?
Well, I don't drink.
I thought women drink light beer.
Well, so I guess you must be drinking with me then.
Did you say Bud Light?
Yeah.
So the highlight, I actually heard your first one's pretty good.
Thank you. My other one's dropping. My third one's dropping today. So I don't know when this podcast is being posted, but it's dropping today on whatever today is, Wednesday. But yeah, I've been in sales since I was like 19. And then, I just helped my fiance do her business.
Yeah, which is cool business because they do like party decor, set up parties. It's good stuff. And so Dominick, I've known Dominick for like maybe 10 years, 11, 12 years or whatever. Long time, right?
Long time.
And Dominick, actually, you train me.
Oh, I also train, yeah.
He likes to take pictures of me when I'm like really super tired and halfway dead, and he thinks it's funny. So, anyways, to the left we have Kaden. Kaden, what do you do, Kaden?
I'm Kaden Flanagan. How I got here originally was through a real estate investing company, and then I got into solar, so I have a solar dealer company as well, and then now I'm working on a couple other things and also a business consultant.
When you say how you got here, what do you mean? How you got here to Phoenix,
Just
to Arizona?
like everything to where I'm at now.
Life, yeah.
Just life in general.
Yeah.
Up to this point, that's what I did.
Yeah. So you're solar,
mm-hmm.
And then what are some of the other things you're working on?
We have some life insurance stuff we're working on, which I know you're familiar with. So we have a little bit of an agency we're creating, which I think we're already 20 people deep. So that's going well. And then I got a roofing company in Washington I'm working on. Yeah. And then I'm helping build out operations, just sales structure and operation for a couple other solar companies across the states. Yeah. So this Kaden's a sales trainer, leader. He's killing the game. All right. And to the far left is Christopher Estrada. Chris Estrada. What are you up to?
Yeah, now, Chris, I'm transitioning into sales. Maybe I'll be as good as Kaden one day. That's the goal, for me at least.
Yeah.
And he's a footballer.
And yeah, I started playing flag football with him. So
now, are you still doing shoes?
Off and on.
Off and on?
Yeah.
So you were doing a lot of shoes though for a minute.
Yeah.
Sneakers.
Yeah, the market for that just like slowed down.
Yeah.
So that's why I was
sneakerhead. It's saturated, right? There's too many people.
Yeah, and just market overall, like inflation and this whole political year, just everything's just low.
Would you blame that on the Chinese?
Biden, maybe.
Oh, Biden?
Yeah.
Bidenomics?
Chinese probably make a lot of the shoes.
Oh, yeah, Chinese make all the shoes.
So we need them.
And the knockoffs. They make the right one and the wrong one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The same manufacturer.
Uh-huh.
I just buy all my stuff off Shein
Oh yeah, Shein.
I don't know what that
or
is.
Temu.
Fast fashion. Temu.
Temu.
Everything's
Temu, hey.
it takes you like 3 months to get everything.
Oh, Temu. By the time you leave the cart, you're ordering like 20 items for like $10 on Temu.
So I got bamboozled last Christmas because I went back home, and that's Washington State. So back home, me and Elena, we do Christmas morning at my parents' house, and then we do the Christmas evening and festivities at her parents' house. So Christmas morning, we come down there. I have a younger brother, so he's more zealous, up at 6 o'clock, getting everybody down there, and I see like our pile of presents, and it's massive. I mean, just... And when I opened the first one, it's a little like car charger in like Chinese. I was like, oh, thanks. And then I opened the next one. It was like Chinese writing packaging, but it was socks.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, I had like 20 gifts, but they're all from Temu.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The cart.
Yeah.
I didn't buy anything, but I literally, it was like, it's got a really good funnel system, and everything's like $2.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty much like Alibaba, how that was.
Well, the difference though is Alibaba sells like containers.
Yeah, they're like
bulk,
wholesale.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
Alibaba will actually probably gives Temu their stuff.
Probably.
Because if you want like bulk this, bulk that, a container this, container that, that's Alibaba. So Temu is more like a Amazon on crack.
Well, they also do like branding, labeling, I mean, everything.
Yeah.
Because I was actually helping somebody with a dog food company, and I didn't even really know what to do. So you could actually go to Alibaba and request all the services, so you get a wholesale rate for all that included. Which,
Yeah.
No, a lot of people when they do drop shipping, they're on Alibaba. They'll
Yeah.
put a logo down, touch nothing.
Yeah. Yep. Especially like large quantities. And Temu, I think they have a different company in China. It's called something else. Temu is the American name. So, because they've only been here like 8 months or a year or something like that in America. It's newer, but they've been in China for several years.
Okay.
So, and plus I think there's something that they're using our information. So the main goal is for Temu is not to sell the product, because when I seen the special on them, they're losing like hundreds of millions of dollars because they're literally selling stuff they're taking a loss, but what they want is our information.
Yeah, data mining.
Yep. They want our information. So that's their main focus, is to get our information. So just keep that in mind. If you're ordering from Temu, don't order from Temu.
Just stop. Clear your card out. Clear your card out.
Well, do you
Temu.
still do like life insurance and sales and things like that? So do you probably pay and get leads?
Yeah,
right?
pay for leads.
Have
yeah.
you ever like backtracked how some of those actually get to you?
Oh yeah.
Because they actually do a lot of data mining services.
Yeah.
And that's why people are like, I've never even filled out for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called skip tracing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're in the real estate world, so you know what skip tracing is.
Yeah.
So.
I think we should start a business like that. Generate leads. Well, that we're gonna have to actually
Start a facility out of China, just data mine.
All right. So we have a couple of things we want to talk about. So you guys are all young. One of the questions I got asked this is, what's the importance of personal brand marketing? And for me, I'm learning it. We've had the podcast for just over a year or something like that, year and a half, and I'm still learning that concept. I think I'm getting better and better at it. But I'd like to know what you guys think about personal brand marketing, if it's important, if it's needed, and how we can get better at it. So to the listener, I guess.
Who do you want to start with?
Go ahead, Don.
Well, it depends on the business you're in, I guess. If you want your personal life, if your brand's off of your personal business,
Hey, do you feel out of like place because you're not getting high right now?
No, it's fucking freezing. It's fucking cold. No, I don't smoke all the time. I mean, I smoke a lot, but no one ever knows if I'm high or not. So, but I believe it's very important. I think it's important for people like yourself. I just barely got back on social media. I was off for like two or 3 years. And I'm realizing how important personal branding is. I'm sure you guys seen Alex Hormozy and all these other people.
Yeah.
Andy Elliott. Their personal brand is, who they are on camera. But I think it's super important because you don't know. That's how you get your customers. Your customers, especially if you're in the podcast space, you're going to get them from your personal brand. They're going to like who you are, what you're about, or they're not going to like you. So
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's important, just depending on what avenue you're going into.
Yeah. What do you think, Christopher?
No, I think it's very important, especially personal branding, because without that, you can't really build anything unless your business is actually strong and you don't need it, which is very rare. if you want to build something to a large scale. But I think it starts with like what you're associated with for personal branding at least. So if you like to have a strong association, so if you like associate yourself with like Louis Vuitton, Prada, people are going to see you and think luxury.
Yeah, that's true.
So you're going to want to entertain those people, and you just want to be like, just go with those, and no one's going to want to believe in you or support you if you don't stand on what you're saying or what you're believing, and you're just like, if you're all over the place, no one's going to follow you or listen to nothing.
Yeah, no, it's true. If you stand for it, you fall for anything. But so I like that you said that is like attach yourself to a brand, like a brand recognition, like brand presence, like who are you, what do you believe in, what do you stand for? Like you, it's the highlight. You're like, yeah, my brand is I'm gonna get high and drink Bud Light.
But I don't drink Bud Light.
Oh, you said that.
I said just give people the option.
Oh, the option. Oh, for the guest.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, but that's like the brand, right? You're building this brand off that kind of.
Well, not really. No.
Oh, okay. It's the podcast.
Well, that's what you're assuming. You haven't asked any of this information. You're just assuming.
I watched the show. I was just curious.
You watched one episode of 3, so I'm not sure you watched.
Yeah, what kind of fan are you?
Yeah, what kind of fan are you?
I'm a huge fan. I liked them all, even though I didn't watch them.
Hey, you didn't even do research on your own guests.
Yeah.
No research. I see you every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and no research. This is interesting. I'm learning a lot about you right now, Christopher.
Yeah. Hey, so attaching like your brand recognition, like you said, Louis Vuitton or something like that. Is this person high end, low end, or something like that? I think that's crucial because some people try to brand all over the place, and you don't know who in the hell they are. It's kind of like me. I'm all over the place. Everybody's like, well, this guy's got a real estate guy, AC guy, a roofer guy, whoever. Yeah. So I'm kind of all over the place. What do you think, Kaden?
I actually have a good example. So yesterday when I went to the cigar lounge, I'm not going to name any names, but so I was talking to a marketer, and he just struck this deal with a gal.
Was that Gary Vee?
No, it wasn't Gary Vee. Sure. No one even remotely close. But he's successful. I mean, he's very successful at his digital marketing he does, and he got into a partnership with a gal that has 20 million followers across all of her platforms. So she has a massive brand. She's recognized, and her brand's huge, so people are believing in the who. So he did a pre-drop on this course. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was a course or something. Within 4 days, it made $1.1 million.
That's awesome.
And that's because he took the branding and then efficiently marketed it, and then now you get a reward from that.
Yeah.
Whether it's more followers.
So the course is under her name,
money
on her account.
Yep.
Yeah, but his genius.
Mm-hmm. So he just knew how to market. And one thing I often see, because Lena does social media, not massive. She has a good following.
She's doing good.
But then a lot of her friends who have big followings, they just naturally have gotten a good organic growth, and they don't know what to do or market with it.
Yeah.
So they're making good 7-figure money, but that's like 1 to 1.5. And then you see the ones that do efficiently market, and that's where they start getting to the higher 7 figures. Yeah. So it's big. And then even for like me, like our solar company, we just branded into an actual dealer, and it's megawatts. And yes, that's MAGA watts, megawatts. And it's because we're creating a conservative brand behind it, because that's the people we want to attract and make a movement out of it almost.
Yeah. So it's called MAGA watts, like MAGA, like Make America Great Again watts.
Yep. Trump 2024.
Oh. So, what about for those people that are like, they don't think that branding is important, Dominic? Like, there's still a bunch of people out there that will not market themselves or their business or anything, or they don't even go on social media. There's still a lot of people not even on social media. Like, are those people missing out on something?
Just depends again. Back what are they doing?
Yeah.
Sometimes, like he said, his client or the marketer didn't have a personal brand. He used someone else's personal brand to make the money. So you could piggyback off someone else. So I guess it just depends on what you want to do, especially with the new AI coming. Who knows what's going to be happening with that? Is personal brand really going to be a thing? Because it could be faked. You don't know if you're going to be watching this person on YouTube or Instagram, and it's a fake person built from artificial intelligence to be that personal brand kind of person to build this following and stuff. So I don't know. Personal brand can be a big thing. I think if you're an authentic person, but with the new AI coming, how is that going to affect personal brand and stuff like that?
Do you think personal touch still outperforms in the long run, like an AI touch? Like I seen there's an ad on Instagram where it was create your own video. Like you don't even need cameras on it. It's all AI generated. I don't even know what they do, if they just take your face and make the rest of it or whatever they're doing. But do you think in the long run it will matter that it's actually you or not you?
I think artificial intelligence is going to destroy human intelligence very, very soon, especially when GPT-5 drops, which I think this year or next year.
Yeah.
And just see how smart ChatGPT-4 is. I can't imagine how 5 is going to be. And all the companies that are using that are going to be way ahead. I mean, it doesn't. And they don't need personal branding for that because it's all done through their AI.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if you've seen the videos, the movies that are done off of AI, like the really good ones that have been made, but they look almost lifelike.
Yeah, they're generating the scenes, the whole everything.
Yeah, so you can do a lot of things with the AI stuff. So I think personal branding is important, at least right now. But in the future, I'm not sure. We're gonna have to figure that out in the future.
Yeah. When it comes to branding and sales, where do you think a human can outdo AI, if you even think that can happen?
Oh, I think a human beats AI in sales all the time, though. Unless it's online sales. But human sales is probably going to be, I mean, you're in the door-to-door space, so that's going to be the pivotal thing for all sales. So I think depending on where you're at in sales, you can't really beat it.
Yeah, only if it gets to a state where like no one's outside going door to door. Then you're I think at that point we're like prisoners in our own country.
I don't think we'll get there,
Yeah. But that's the only way that AI would beat the person. You can't actually leave your house and go to someone else's house.
Terminator,
Yeah, like you're kind of like, don't leave your house.
Yeah, we're fucked.
Yeah. At that point, nobody needs solar anyways. They just got to try to get some food.
No one needs anything because they're fucked.
You got Chinese communists walking down the street and stuff.
That's in California.
It's already happening, not in New York. California, New York, it's already happening. Yeah. No, I think brand marketing is for me personally, like I understand AI, but I think you have to let people know who you are. Because nobody's going to know who Dominick is unless you tell them who you are, right? Now, yeah, you can go hire someone else, but at that point, that guy that's doing this now is wealthy already, right? He's already wealthy. He's already made it. That's kind of like Nike paying Jordan. Not way different, but Nike's using Jordan for the brand, right? So, but until Nike got to do that, Nike had a brand itself. That way everyone knew who Nike was, right? And so I think for like us and everybody watching is brand yourself. If it's your business, and I think you gotta, like, if you have a business, you need to brand both separately. Like you aren't your business and your business isn't you, right? Unless you're a single man show, one stop type solopreneur type thing. But if you have an actual legit business and you have your own personal thing going on, it's two separate brands. They should intertwine, but they shouldn't be the same thing, right? Like for me, obviously, I've been in the drywall space. We're entering all kinds of other spaces, but Extreme Drywall Concepts is one brand, and then now I'm building the Chris Estrada brand. That way, it's two separate things, So one can hopefully survive without the other, I think
that kind of comes down to the concept of pillars.
Yeah.
The more pillars you have in your house, the stronger the roof will stand. And the branding itself, because realistically, if you take Extreme, the drywall, that's a product or a service.
Yeah.
And if you take Chris Estrada, that's a person.
Yeah.
So they do have to be separate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, no, I'm with you on that.
Yeah. And when you brand yourself, like, then people start to know who you are, what you're capable of doing. And that's the difference of, so like nobody knows unless you tell them, Dominick, that you sell life insurance and solar. Nobody's going to ever know that except the person you're dealing with at that one time, right? But if you told the world that and you're like, hey, I'm selling this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, now people know, and then you're more out to be sought out after because they know, the world knows. Just like, the first thing we did is I plugged out Extreme Media Group, right? Because that's part of what we're doing is recording podcasts, doing photo shots and all that stuff. So we got to create a brand for that now. You know what I mean?
And then I got a question, I guess, for everybody too. How do you think, in your opinion, do you create effective branding and become an effective marketer as well?
Go ahead.
Why are you guys looking at me? I have no.
Highlight, bro.
Ask the high guy.
I'm barely getting into this marketing stuff. So
Say that question again.
So what do you think, in your opinions, makes an effective brand or effective branding? And then how do you think you become an effective marketer as well?
Yeah. So like your business can become a brand, right? And one is to make an effective brand is you have to have a great business, good service, like the things you're doing in your business has to separate yourself from the competition, right? There's always a ton of competition. So, you know, for us, like our slogan is taking excellence to the extreme with Extreme Drywall. And so we have to go out there and really do that. So the brand market becomes, okay, if we hire Extreme Drywall or Extreme Painting, we're going to get a safe company, we're going to get a quality company, productive company, a company that has a heavy set of manpower. So that's part of the brand, like what we offer, right? What was the second part of the question?
And what makes you an efficient marketer?
Yeah. So we know the brand is kind of, you have to, in order to create the brand, you have to offer something that someone else is not capable of doing, or maybe they are, but you're doing a little bit better, right? And to market the brand, I think today it has to be on social media. You know, I think everywhere, like what our guys is, we buy a lot of shirts, hats, a lot of swag. We're on social media. Okay, like we're on a job site. I was on a job site. We're doing a job walk, making an estimate for a friend of mine that owns a large company, and there's like all these people coming in making estimates. They're walking the job to price it, and a kid walks in with an Extreme Drywall shirt on, and so I'm trying to win the job, right? And it's basically like another drywall company. And I look at the owners and I go, do you want to hire those guys? Because they don't even know who they are. The guy's wearing my shirt. And they're like, you don't care? I go, hell no. Because when he goes on everyone else's job, they see Extreme Drywall. So once they screw up, who do they want to call? They're going to call the guy that you know what I mean? There's another option right in front of their face. Yeah. There's so I think marketing, you have to market in all kinds of different areas, not just pick one lane.
Well, that could backfire on you though, right?
It could.
In that scenario, because if they do a shitty job,
they can think it's us.
That shirt, they assume that guy is associated with you.
That has happened. That has happened. There was a big apartment job, and they called us, and they're like, "Hey, you guys did this and that." I'm like, "Well, we're not even on that job." Well, they're wearing your shirts. Well, that's not us, right? And it has happened. But at the end of the day, like people see our people wearing our clothes, our shirts, at grocery stores, at the malls, you know, everywhere. And so the marketing part of that is as well as, so they also call, hey, we seen a guy wearing your shirt, you know, are you hiring? Or hey, we seen a guy wearing your shirt, we need this done on a project. So it backfires like once every so many years. But so
that kind of goes back to the point that still face-to-face marketing is the best marketing.
It's the best, yeah, because you got to get it right in front of them. You got to get right in front of them.
Well, marketing is just promoting and selling the product.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that branding and marketing should involve emotion as well?
Yeah.
Because I'm a big believer in.
I think it does.
Emotion behind it.
Well, because most people that do deals, it's an emotional deal, right? And you can be logical with the deal itself and like, does it make sense? You know, the dollar value or whatever that is. But usually there's an emotion while you're doing it, anyways. I want to remodel my building. I want to build out this structure. I want to, you know, set these solar panels. There's an emotion why you want to do it. Like,
and then what do you think are the best emotions to have in a branding or a marketing scheme?
Well, I think you want to like make people happy. You know,
I guess I should correlate that direct to extreme because that's kind of broad.
Yeah, we want people to feel good, right? Like we're doing a job in Tempe that's really high end, and it's the finishes are, we've never done it before. It took us like 3 weeks to figure out how to actually apply it the right way. And the goal is to make the owners feel good. Right when they walk in that job site, they feel so good that they're glad that we got hired. You know, that's on every project. That's why we're super clean on our jobs. We're super safe because we want people to feel really good. Like, hey, this is right. The same thing with, you know, like, you know, if I hire Dominick to do something, Dominick's job, as if I hire him or whatever, say, okay, like working out, his job is to make me feel good while I'm working out.
No, it's not.
I was trying to make it sound good.
No,
actually it makes you feel terrible, but it does. It makes me feel real good the next day because I'm like, man, I accomplished something massive. I defeated Dominick's protocol.
No, you don't.
Listen,
he tells me about
I know you're doing baby steps with me and all that stuff, but
I think the emotion that should be tied is like FOMO, fear of missing out. That's probably like the biggest emotion towards any kind of marketing.
Why should what I need to? Why
Yeah,
if I
'cause
don't? What if I don't?
Like Jeremy, I'm sure you guys know Jeremy. Well, you know Jeremy.
I don't know
I'm
who
sure
that
you know
guy is.
Jeremy as well.
You're supposed to come on my podcast like 3 times.
He talks about what sales is, and sales is everything, but sales is essentially just change.
Yeah.
So you want someone to feel like they need to change wherever the situation is there and now. You want them to be able, you want them to want to change.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably, the biggest thing in marketing is, what are you missing out on? That's why you see all these commercials, these guys driving in these Fords in the middle of nowhere, even though they're only going to drive in the city. But what can you be getting? What could you guys be doing with your family, your friends out in the middle of nowhere driving this truck?
the possibility.
Yeah, the possibility of that change that you could have in your life.
Yeah.
So I think the FOMO, to answer your question, FOMO, fear of missing out is probably the
That's
best
a good
marketing.
one. That's a good one leading into a sales pitch. Like to know, like how can you like make them feel like they absolutely need it? What if they don't have it?
That's even like related to like the door-to-door space too, because one of the best ways to actually knock the doors and like get more friction is to always like point to a neighbor. Oh yeah, John, even if there's no John down the street's actually sitting down with us tomorrow at 4. We just want to give you the same opportunity. I mean, are you going to be around over 5, 6?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, sure.
The only
And
time
I'll
that
do
doesn't
it.
work is in Sun City when they actually do know all their neighbors.
Oh yeah, Sun Cities. Yeah, don't do that.
Have you ever like said that and they're like, dude, you're lying. John don't live down the street, bro.
So I'm a little
That's
bit.
Bob.
My contact just fell out, but before I put this in, I'm a little bit of a cheater because I have what's called rep card, or you probably use Sales Rabbit rep card. If
Yeah, there's another. I'll tell you about another one, but I don't want to say it over there because it's high level.
so it's a name dropping tool, it's a CRM tool, it's everything. But you can walk down the street and actually have people's names on there.
Yeah.
I just make sure I at least get like 10 houses away, because if
They
it's
don't
5
know
houses down, I'm like,
They
yeah, I
didn't
just
know
talked to John. They're like,
Let me call that
I'm gonna
fool.
call him up. Yeah.
That worked for me in Sun City one time.
Yeah.
I talked to one lady, and then she was telling me about her dog, how she ran. And then I went across the other street, and the lady that caught her dog was the lady I talked to.
No kidding.
So it worked out perfect. That's the only time it's ever worked out.
So I was talking to one of my guys, and he was talking about in Sun City years ago when he was knocking, and he did 7 houses in 1 week, because the first start of the week he was going out to knock and he saw smoke coming from a house. And he's like, that can't be good. And it was coming right out of the garage. So he goes up to the door, knocks on it. They open it and they're like panicked. They're like, oh, our house is on fire. And he's very cool, calm. He's a Marine. He goes, all right, everybody, we're going to get all your stuff out of the house. That's important. So he helped them like get their animals, the kids, move the cars. And he was like the local hero to that area. And all the neighbors were like, you're Brandon, right? You're Brandon. You're the guy that saved, I don't remember their names, but saved them from the fire, right? Yeah. Hey, let's sit down. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But that's a good area for having a good tight knit
You get one, you get
referral.
multiple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as long as they live,
Yeah.
Sun City is a very old community. So 55 plus, most of them are 60, 70 years old.
So FOMO, we need to do that with the Extreme Media Group. Like, what are you missing out on? You're missing out on a good platform.
Dude, I'm helping you out.
Yeah. Okay. So, another topic, guys. Let's move on to the next topic. So, we all go to church, except Dominic. He goes once, twice a year.
Yeah, to your church.
I think I've seen you 3 times.
This year, I've been to your guys' church like 4 or 5 times this year.
So, my question would be, you guys are all different age groups. We got different kind of, I guess I've been in church for like 15, 16 years now, 17 years. Christopher just as long. Dominic.
I've been since
Kind
I
of grew up in church.
Yeah, I grew up in church.
You still go to church?
Yeah, I just go to a different church.
Okay. Which one?
A highlight.
Yeah, I go Love International. It's down the street from here.
He does not go to church. When do you go?
Sundays at 9 a.m. You go there at 9 a.m. You'll see me there. I sit in the middle row. You go walk in.
And then
you can't
he
miss
goes
me.
up and preaches too.
You can't miss me. I'm right in the middle. So if you go there, you'll see me there 9 a.m. Well, actually, I'm there at like 8:55
Every Sunday?
every Sunday at 9 a.m.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go there.
Go, yeah, see me.
So, anyways, the question is
Hold up. Chris, why do you keep attacking me?
Dominic.
This whole time. And you know what we have tomorrow, right? You know what tomorrow is?
What's tomorrow?
We work out tomorrow. So the more you attack me, the more I get to just play with you. So
Is it leg day?
it's whatever I want it to be tomorrow.
Let's make sure it's leg day.
It's whatever I want it to be tomorrow. That's the power of training someone.
12 sets of 12, baby.
Yeah.
Yep.
Whatever.
But sorry,
back
Chris,
hurts.
I cut you off a little bit.
My back hurts. So, anyways, I'm gonna go to your church and see if you're actually there.
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right. So the importance
will
of
you pay
church.
me?
I'm not gonna pay you nothing.
If you said you're there all the time, I want to bet.
You want to bet?
That'll be the next topic. We'll talk about that. All right. So church. Okay.
Hold up. You want to bet that I go to church? How much you want to put on it? Hold up. Let's go back to our bet. What are we betting?
You said you go every Sunday.
9 a.m.
So I'm gonna go to the pastor and say, "Hey, is Dominick there?" He's like, "Who the hell's that?"
He's gonna say, "Oh, the one that's possibly having a wedding. The one that's getting married. My grandma talks to him all the time.
Yeah.
I know him. He knows me. I grew up in that church too. Shoot, coming at me, Chris.
I know your family goes there. So church, is it important for society, and does it coincide with politics?
Yes.
So that's my question. So, like, so we can go in deeper. Is even if we went deeper and people were gonna hate this, can a Christian be a Democrat? You know, and so
we don't even need to talk politics.
I think it depends.
But I don't think we need to pull politics into it. Is even having a religion.
Just the
being
base of the religion of faith. So one is church important to people and their families, and then two is how does it coincide what's actually happening today, which actually turns into be a political topic because it all revolves back to policy.
Well, this depends.
Unless you're the Catholic Church.
If he depends on church, because you could go to one of these mega churches and people just go for their pictures, right? A lot of people just go to church for the feel good. They go through the motions. They're used to just going.
Yeah, they don't.
But a lot of people, this is what I've just seen. I'm speaking from experience. I'm one of these people that were like this. But I would go to church and not really understand what the word was. I never read the Bible, never understood what the Bible was. So I was just kind of like a bandwagon fan for a sports team. I was only there because it was the winning team.
Oh, because it's a nice church. Yeah.
No, just in general. I was only there because it was just church. Church. I'm just used to going there. I'm used to seeing everything. It's part of the motions, but I wasn't really taking the messages in, really understanding what the word meant. Because if you go to church and don't understand the word, like why are you going? Because the word is what's most important. You could go and get the message from the pastor, but you're only spending 1 hour. If you're with the Father, if God's our Father, you're only spending 1 hour a week with your Father.
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to get treated, and how are you going to, exemplify that in the real world? So if you're only spending an hour a week at church, and not really putting in at least an hour, even 20 minutes of reading the Bible a day, and discipline towards your faith, whatever faith you're a part of, it's going to have a downfall effect, and you're not going to be representing that faith that well anyway. So, to go back to your question, can a Christian be a Democrat? Anyone could be a Democrat, because anyone can fuck up. Anyone could be an idiot. So you go to a church, there could be a murder right next to you, especially you go to a mega church.
Yeah.
You go to these mega churches, let's say 1 in 10 persons, a lunatic. There's hundreds of lunatics sitting right next to you.
And I think the church aspect, it's a little bit more of your intention of going to church.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of what you were saying.
Why are you actually going?
Why me? So
the intention.
So yeah, and then the little bit of backstory, because when I was in Washington, I've always been a believer, but never understood the intimacy. And so when I would be in Washington, I would go with a couple of my friends, and there's this massive church called Foursquare. But realistically, when I'm going at that point, it was for girls, it was for that public image, it was for all these things. Mm-hmm. And it actually kind of I actually hated going to it because I felt wrong, because I'm going to this church that nobody in it, there's probably people in there, but majority of the people in the masses, they're not exploring that intimacy or going there to just refuel on their spirituality, which is where there's a disconnect for me. But backtrack to the political aspect to it as well. I think right now, this day and age, I think it's hard to be a Democrat and a Christian, because I think if you're going to be all in on a Democratic view, there's a lot of biblical things in that. Let's just even take abortion, for example, mm-hmm. because if you're with Democrats and you're supporting abortion, you're now disagreeing with the Bible. Mm-hmm. So now there's political, I think, twist in it.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I guess it depends. If you're hardcore Democrat, I don't think you're a Christian. But if you're a Christian and you're a Democrat, and because I'm Republican and I don't believe or everything they stand for, but I definitely don't believe everything the Democrats stand for 100%. Because a lot of stuff's stupid, it's wrong. But I think it just depends on the person and what they believe. So I don't know. I think it's just a personal thing. But I don't think you can just go up there and be like, oh, you go to church and you're a Democrat. You're fake. You're not Christian. Just
and
leave.
it depends on how far Democrat they are, right? If they're like far blue hair, like that's really against like what the Bible talks about. You know, Romans 8 when it talks about being gay, men having sex with men, women having sex with women, and then them trying to force people into their group even though they know it's sinning.
Yeah.
You know, that far right or far left or far right? Far left. Yeah, far left point of view. I don't think can be, you know, coinciding with Christianity. But if you're just barely if you're a centrist and you're a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, or even if you're a little bit left leaning, I still think you could be a Christian. You know, still, because at the end of the day, what's the Democrats' basis? Caring for other people. Other people could do, you know, whatever they want. You know.
Do you think the Democrats' basis is really caring for other people?
No. But what did it originally? What did it stand for before? Mm-hmm. You know, the Republicans were all war. Now Democrats are all war. So these two, I mean, we're really just fucked regardless because they're both the same party, just one uniparty, right? So if you want to go back really deep into politics, right? We've only had one independent president. Do you know who that was?
Which one?
Do you guys know who the only independent president was?
Was that Lincoln?
Nope.
No, he's Republican.
Was it
George Washington?
Yeah, the first
president.
Lincoln wasn't
well, Democrat and
Republican
Republican weren't even a thing then. I don't think.
No, they were just creating all the.
Yeah, it was all
because they had like the Whig Party, and then I forgot the other.
Yeah, because Lincoln wasn't a Republican. They ended up becoming Republicans. The party he was, I forgot the name of the party.
But that's the only independent president we've ever had.
Yeah. And
we've always been on the two-party, essentially uniparty system where one side or the other ones, and it always goes back and forth. It's never just one.
When they always flip-flop it, right? Mm-hmm. But when you get into church, like I feel church is super important. One, for families, for businesses, you know, prayer, get close. And I think like when you start hearing like a lot of people won't talk about church, they won't talk about politics, especially when they're on the video and the cameras. They get so afraid. It's like, quit being afraid. If this is what you stand for, live by it, right? But you have to believe in something, right? If like I said earlier, if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. But if you can't integrate church into what you're doing, and that's who you are, then you know you're a hypocrite. That's the true hypocrite. That's and with the politics is like you guys are both saying, Kaden and Dominick, is the Bible. If you really like are going to church, and you know everyone's not perfect, right? I cuss, or everyone here cusses a little bit, but if you follow the Bible and you can say, well, it says don't cuss or whatever, go get a job. But it talks about the big heavy things. Like
where does it say in the Bible not to cuss?
It says like don't say certain word, or I forgot the word.
It says watch the power of your tongue.
Yeah, well, it says like don't blasphemy and don't talk about people, and it doesn't say.
I think it says
don't
something
cuss.
about like foul or
foul
language.
It just says other little words.
Yeah,
but I don't think that necessarily means cussing.
Yeah. I can't. We can
it
probably
could be
look it
cursing at someone else. You could curse someone's life and say something bad about them. That's basically cussing.
And I can't remember. I was actually reading something about it because it was actually on the topic of
Dude,
cussing.
we're gonna get so much on YouTube. We're gonna get so much hate.
It was talking about the power of like what you're saying, because you're not supposed to cuss. Like, hey, you know, excuse my French, but fuck you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But if you're using it in like scenarios where it is to the betterment of somebody else, like for me, if I'm doing a hype up meeting for my organization, or if I'm giving somebody life advice, whatever it is, you know, it's, you know, that situation is bullshit. Yeah. It is. And you can use things like that. And it had a big breakdown.
In the Bible to use it, how to use it.
Yeah, word for word. No, I just use
the cuss word in this scenario.
Here's directions on how to use these words.
Yeah. The Bible cadence.
But I seen or read something or post or something about like a year ago, and it was saying like so many people, like religious people or non-religious people, this is how they try to go after religion is, oh, you cuss, you this and that, but yet that same person will curse themselves, right? So what's more, what are we reading here? It is definitely a sin to swear. The Bible makes it.
That's pretty much what Kaden just said. He's literally said,
"Yeah, do not let a wholesome talk come out of your mouth." That's what we just said, right?
So, I guess it's just on interpretation.
But here's the thing: is we're calling it cuss words, but what about the people that actually curse themselves and others? Like, I suck, I'm no good, you suck, you're no good. People that self-talk themselves are cursing themselves And those are usually the people that are gonna slander us on this show.
Well, that's what you said. It made a good point where you said cussing, and then you didn't even use like the actual vulgar words we consider vulgar.
Yeah.
Because even like on that little thing right there, it says unwholesome talk.
Yeah.
Which unwholesome talk is a negative conversation.
That's exactly right.
Like when
Which
you're
is
talking
exactly
down
what
to
you're saying.
somebody or a parent who like emotionally, mentally abuses their kids.
Or even like gossip, because it talks in
Yeah.
the Bible like gossip
Yeah,
is
yeah,
like
yeah.
you know,
Yeah, that's
they always
huge.
gossip. The Pharisees are gossiping or whatever
Yeah,
about Jesus
yeah.
and stuff like that. And you know, I think that falls in that category.
So-
I don't believe cussing is.
Yeah, like if you're playing a basketball game, you're like, oh F, like you're not telling anyone that, you're just like saying it. So is that bad?
Yeah.
I don't think that's bad. I mean, I think to one each its own. Like if you don't want to cuss, don't cuss. If you want to cuss a little bit, I think kind of keep your mouth, like don't like say derogatory things or nasty things or talk sexual.
You don't sound like a rapper.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's what they're selling, right?
that's their brand.
Yeah, that's their brand.
So that's
some
their
of them,
brand,
some of them don't even
a lot
believe
of
what
that
they-
brand's it's
It's
super,
fake.
super fake.
Yeah, some of them don't even believe what they're
They're
saying.
talking about killing people. They never shot a gun. So
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really talking about drugs that never pop. Nothing.
Well, the ones that are real usually end up dead or in prison really young, like
Yeah.
21 or something. They're-
Rest in peace, King Von.
I don't know what that is,
Or
but
Lil
how was
Snoop.
he young?
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Yeah, he was like 20-something years old.
That's I mean they don't make it because
Pop Smoke.
they're real.
Pop Smoke died. Well, that was a stupid decision. on
Actually,
his
yeah,
part.
that was dumb.
He
But
posted the
PNB
address.
Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Well,
the real hardcore ones they get killed or they go to prison. The fake ones are the ones that have become multi-millionaires, billionaires.
Drake.
Yeah,
Drake, Puff Daddy. I mean, you already know what happened with Puff Daddy.
No, you were at his house. you tell us what happened.
Hey, no one wants to admit that they're at his house. His own friends are disowning that guy.
I just want to wait. I'm waiting till they actually release the footage on those cameras
Whoa.
Why is he gonna watch it?
so we can see.
It's like
I mean,
a porn video.
Chris is gonna be on that OnlyFans account for a long time.
No, you can see like who actually
Who was there. I
Well,
mean,
what's
there's
gonna
pictures.
happen?
There's pictures of people at the
Nothing.
party, but
Well, have you guys been hearing people say now it's hilarious? I hear it all the time where they go Diddy or no Diddy.
No Diddy.
yeah.
It's like the no homo now.
Yeah. No Diddy.
Well, I have a question off of the church aspect that goes a little bit deeper. Do you think, or would you classify the U.S. today as very deprived from God?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, we
totally.
were founded on church and state, and then once we got removed and had the separation of church and state, it started getting worse.
That's what I'm saying is church was always involved in politics.
Well, I think
So when people say they're not intertwined, maybe in today's society, but if you go back in history, the church, they were the politicians.
But then
Well-
comes the argument. Sorry.
It was Catholic Church.
but then comes the argument
Roman.
like freedom of speech and freedom of religion, right? Because if one religion is ruling all, then how is there freedom of religion? It then goes.
that's
into,
why
like,
that's why they're separating it and stuff.
And then kind of goes like if Muslims kind of take over, like and they go Sharia law, like is that? Then that's not separation of church and state, and then we're really fucked, right?
Well,
Because
Well, I have an opinion too on a lot of that stuff where I think that it's just political and all sorts of other things are just getting in there to create a gap between the person and God.
Mm-hmm.
So realistically, politics isn't important, but they're trying to make it relevant.
Well,
Well, right now it is, but they're trying to make it a lot more relevant to kind of create that gap. At least what I've seen.
you're saying to get in between that relationship.
Because if people stop focusing so much on God or so much on themselves and something else, there's no awareness that's happening there.
But do you believe the country was founded on it, like the money and God we trust? There was like these biblical principles, like throughout history, there was like scriptures written and biblical sayings on different documents and all these different things that have happened. Do you think like the further we've gotten away from, like we can say, well, one church would rule the world or rule the country, but the further we've gotten away from our country looking at church as a necessity, the worse we've gotten, right? The United States is the worst it's ever been, and we're the furthest away from God as a country of that belief in God that we've ever been.
would you say it's the worst it's ever been? I mean, World War II, the real Great Depression, all the famine and stuff. I mean, that was way worse than whatever we're dealing with now.
I don't think that didn't really have anything to do with like
Yeah, I
religion
think.
or different.
Well, that's not
political
because
issues.
the ideology of what's happening today, like what the policies and the transgender things, and
Well, we're just following history. Like the Roman Empire
course.
felt the same way. It felt their arguments were about religion at the end of the fall of the Roman Empire, and we're just at
but they got away from it.
But it was religion and gender. They had gender crisis too.
They were bad.
they
they were
did.
real bad.
so. But I don't know if because we don't have the people say that they're Christians and then they're not Christians, right?
Yeah.
They don't believe. They just go to again for the
And there's
show.
people who are Muslim and they're just Muslim
For the show.
because it's cool and they're
Yeah.
all inshallah and whatever and they don't even pray.
Yeah. So when you say far from church, I think people in general are. I think the issue is people are further away from God than ever
From God, the
before.
relationship.
So if you get more people closer to God, the issue is not church and state. The issue is people running.
Yeah.
The people really in power. Are they really close to God? Are they really whatever God they worship? Are they close to that God? Because if they're close to a God, they're going to have some sort of discipline, care
How
for
many
other
gods
people.
are there?
Whatever God they believe in. I believe in one God. But God says there's multiple gods. He's a one true God, though. Don't believe in other gods. So therefore, there
yeah.
are other gods. So all these people believe in other gods. At least they'll give them some sort of compassion. But if they're further away from whatever they believe in, and when in my life, for example, when I got further away from God, Jesus, it was the loneliest I've ever been, the darkest my mind's ever been. And if other people are like that, they don't have anything to really fall back on, or no community, because church is really a good community of good people.
Yeah.
And they're going to do stupid shit, and they're going to not care about what's going on. Like Bill Maher, for example, he doesn't care what happens. He says, I don't want to have kids. I don't care what's going on. California is a great place. You travel outside of his little community, it's not a great place.
That's
You go to
terrible.
San Francisco, it looks like a third world country. So
Yeah.
I believe that the issue is going further away from God and not church and state.
What's crazy is you said God, Jesus. So I was looking up the other day Jehovah's Witness, the rules of Jehovah's Witness. They have 146 rules, I believe, and one of them is Jesus is not God. So Jehovah's Witness, have you ever do a study on it? I think it's 146. Put up Jehovah's Witness rules. It's like 146 or something. 141 rules. Let's just scroll down there, or you could show it. So this is where things get weird. Is depending on the religion, is how they actually believe, and I think stuff like this is where things get real wonky.
Sorry, it's just
Which one are you reading?
One rule: all of them, but belong to another organization or club for the purpose of socializing with non-believers. Number one.
Yeah, you can't.
That's ridiculous.
We used to have two guys that were Jehovah's that worked here, and they weren't allowed to come to our Christmas parties or any other parties.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Because we weren't Jehovah's. We're Christian.
So I actually, in high school, I dated a gal who was Jehovah's Witness. We dated for a week, and then she dropped that on me, and we didn't.
That's
date
why.
each other.
Now you know why.
But you see, look at rule 14.
14.
Read 14.
Run for leadership in any organization.
So they can't run the country anyways by their own laws.
No, they
So-
can't do anything. If you read every rule, they're basically cannot do anything. They're barely alive. If you read this,
Salute the flag, vote.
Use a
Yeah.
gun for
So
protection.
essentially, we don't even have to worry about them then.
Yeah,
No,
they lost
can't
me at
do
26.
anything.
Yeah,
you
he's
don't have to
there.
worry about them at all. The Jehovah's, they're never gonna come at you.
26.
So if we get in some sort of civil
Yeah,
war,
25.
They take
don't
yoga
count on the
classes.
Jehovah to back you
Yeah.
up. Yeah, if it's
They
a
go
civil
watch-
war, do not count on Jehovah's
Just
to
go
back
watch
you
you.
up.
All right, but what were you going, Chris? Sorry.
I don't know. I have no idea. We're just talking.
You're
about
talking about Jehovah's Witnesses and then laws. and
the
then-
laws.
And then about what religion they support.
I don't know. I forgot.
Crazy. The stoner can remember more than you.
No.
I mean, you can also
But
say,
I was-
I mean, Jewish people don't believe, well, I guess not Messianic Jews, but every other Jew don't believe Jesus is God either.
Well, they don't believe he's Messiah. So they believe in Jesus himself.
Yeah, as a-
just
as
not
a prophet.
not his position as we look at as a Christian. But the Jewish obviously are going off of the Old Testament. Mm-hmm. So Jesus appears in the New Testament.
He's just a prophet, right?
To them, yeah. So
same with the Muslims.
same with
What's-
them. They all believe in Jesus existed, just not how we.
So Muslims and Jews, they believe a lot of
lot
their
of same
stuff
stuff.
is
Old
pretty much
Testament.
aligned. It's like some of like the major prophets and stuff. and-
all Old Testament.
Yeah,
all Old
it's-
Testament.
I felt kind of bad the other day because I ruined a Muslim guy's just whole thought because he obviously follows the Quran.
Yeah.
And you guys have probably seen that correlation map with the little
Yeah.
lines. I actually screenshot it on my
like
phone.
here, all over the place.
And I was like, oh, okay. Well, do you know how much like cross reference and dropped that on him is it between the Quran and the Bible? And he goes, no. And so I pulled up the photo. And after he sees the Quran, he's like, okay, it's decent, which it's like, I don't know, 15, 20 lines. And I show him the Bible one, which is just all over. And he goes, oh. And then just got quiet.
Yeah.
And then I could already see him start converting because he could see the actual evidence to it.
Yeah, it's anyways, like with the church, I just think like utilize your church, go to church, be a part of your church, tithe to your church, get close to God, build that relationship like Dominick's saying. And I do think like if you are involved in church and stuff, this is my personal opinion, you should get involved in politics because you vote the policies that you believe in.
When you say getting involved, what do you mean? Are you saying like I should run for president when I'm 35 years old?
Well,
should.
hold up.
I mean, like
Chris,
vote.
Chris,
like,
are you going to get involved in politics? Is this what's happening
I'm
right
running
now?
for
running for Congress.
congressman.
No, like help your local community, whatever they are, Congress or whatever.
I'm becoming mayor of Peoria.
Because the problem is people want to complain, they don't do nothing, and then you know what I mean. But like,
Well, why would you want that job?
I don't know, to make a difference.
But you're making what, 50, 60. How much does a mayor make of Arizona? Let's just say what
Not a lot.
does a congressman make from Arizona?
But I'm going to take your good advice.
So they got to pay. They're like teachers.
Well, I'll take your good advice. I'm going to run for Congress in the Democratic Party.
Why?
We'll change it from within.
So
They probably don't make nothing.
for $174,000,
That's not bad. That's like the president. What he makes. or
He makes
something like
400 grand. But for that, is that worth everything you have to go through, all the scrutiny you have to go through, the
the
hours and
president's-
that.
hours?
I think so. Oh, I mean, usually they come out a millionaire.
Well, it depends.
Well, I was saying, is the president's income based off of their insider trading?
Yeah,
Or?
they come out a millionaire, bro. It's okay.
All right, now look up like state jurisdictions. So what's there's a mayor. What's
Like the
Carrie
city
Lake?
guys? Oh,
What
Carrie
Carrie
Lake?
Lake?
Representative?
Just
No,
governor,
what's
right?
she
Sure,
went to?
Senate.
Was it?
No, like
Congress?
what's the governor? What does Arizona governor
Yeah,
make?
U.S. government.
You're typing in on the. You're
Arizona.
typing in on the. There you
Who
go.
hired this AV guy?
Yeah, what does a governor make? A state governor make?
Yeah, that's probably like 250, 225.
Governor.
Do you know? Have you Googled anything before?
He's just making sure you spelled it right because
He didn't even spell make
he's
right.
getting pressed.
The governor.
He's under pressure.
Okay, so the most you make.
Nice.
So number one's New York at 250,000.
Well, what does that say? Gubernatorial salaries. What is that? A governor? It's not a governor.
Ballot P? Yeah, it says governor, right?
Where?
Oh, what is that?
No, that's not governor.
Goober national salaries.
That's the portion. That's a portion of the governors.
Hey, you're.
oh, right there. That
That's
one.
because you're not spelled right.
Here's a salary of all 50.
There it is.
Let's check it out. But regardless,
DeSantis.
What's
So
the
Cal-
average?
Just put,
So
what
what's
is
the
DeSantis?
average?
so 70,000 right there in Maine, and then 201 for Newsom, who's making a lot more than that.
Oh, Newsom's freaking making millions.
Okay, so let's just say
That guy's raking all kinds
I
of
guess
Chinese
it also depends
money.
on the state too.
Well-
so if your state has more money,
No, that's true.
Well,
Yeah.
Newsom, I mean, he actually was a business owner prior to doing it. And it's funny. I think it's almost like a ploy for him because he's really smart.
Yeah.
He just is he's just an idiot when it comes to politics.
No,
it's crazy.
or I think he's bought out.
95.
I don't think he's.
Yeah,
The
that's
guy's
more
in a
bought out
perfect
away.
position.
He's bought out.
He's in a perfect position because he can make all the deals and get a cut from every pie. I mean, think about how much money China has paid that guy for every deal that's went into California. That guy's look up Gavin Newsom's net worth.
All right, but back to the original thing though. Is it worth it to be a
Yes.
governor at $95,000
Yes.
a year when you could just be a sales rep and make that in a month?
No, but not if you want to make change to your state.
But the change that this guy, the scrutiny this guy had to go through. I mean,
Yeah, but
Juicy.
when you start making money and you want to make a change, you just go.
but the
support them.
people, Chris, are you gonna run for governor?
No,
Why?
I'm not in politics. I would.
Wait,
though.
but
But
you're
you-
in
you're
your
a
church.
I'm
Right?
supporting
You're a
my
church.
politicians.
But you just said
But you're not
if
in
you're-
support your Okay, I said it wrong. Support your politicians.
Okay, do you donate?
Yes. Are you
I was
kidding?
waiting for a no.
I thought he was gonna say no.
No, I always donate.
Do you donate to state?
As a matter of fact, the Latinas for Trump or whatever her name is, that goes to our church. What's her?
I don't know who that is.
The lady.
I know who you're talking about.
Latinos for Trump, all that stuff. I just sent her. There's all kinds of people doing this, so don't think it's everybody. But the lady, I can't think of her name right now. I literally ordered stuff from Amazon, flags, pins, all kinds of stuff. Sent it straight to her house.
From Amazon or Temu?
So then who are you voting for?
Not Timo.
Is this for like Congress? Like, what's she running
The
for?
flag's missing like
she
17
does,
stars.
she does like helps people sign up to vote.
They can register to vote
But
with her.
if you want to help out our politicians,
I
it's not
donate.
helping out our politicians.
I donate to all those guys.
So I guess I'm just a little confused who you
So
voting for.
you bought this lady flags. What kind of change does that do besides give her more decorations for her table?
No, that way she can give them out. It's American pride. Vote Trump. That's what her deal is.
What if she gives them out to some dude that gay and hates America and they burn it?
That's a high possibility. High possibility.
You should put them in the back of your truck and just have it
Big old
sticking out.
flags. I'm not that crazy. But I think you should support your politicians. I think you should donate to the campaigns because they need money to campaign, right? Again, these guys aren't making a lot. Well, a lot of times the governor is usually some sort of business guy because the governor is like the manager of the state.
Well, not whoever we have right now who just
No,
stepped
that's
down.
different. But that's usually
Yeah.
like we had the guy that was owned the ice cream shop. Is that Ducey? Was he the one that owned the ice cream shop? Cold Stone Creamery? Was that Ducey?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Good manager. So good. So the governors.
Yeah. Cold Stone.
Yeah, founder of Cold Stone Creamery. Who was that? Or maybe he managed it or something.
Just why don't you
You just look up Cold
just press
Stone
right there
owner?
where it says
Yeah, or look up Doug Ducey or something.
Yeah. Why don't you look up Doug Ducey?
Never mind. Anyways,
Donald Sutherland.
so the governor's like the manager, right? And I think
So then, would you say more business owners like yourself should be running for governor then, making $95,000 a year?
no. I think if you're already running, doing a successful business, it's no different than Trump running for president. I mean, yeah, it's a difference, president of the United States, but he's
Then
able. He's able to.
wait,
do it
so are
'cause
we
he-
going from church
money-
members should be involved in politics or business owners are
Now we're changed. We changed the whole topic. So if you have the money, why not do it? Why not I interviewed what's his name that I interviewed that was going for governor or mayor? Curtis Merriweather. Super successful. He's running for politics. A lot of the people are starting to run for politics that have success because they're trying to make a change.
So you're telling us that you're gonna put your hat in? Like I'm asking you, Chris. Like you're saying all this.
I don't have enough money yet.
What do you mean? You make enough money.
No.
How much is your business worth?
It doesn't matter. It's how much money I have in my pocket. It's
Well,
very
you can
little.
put as much as you need to in there. And if you're a successful business owner, right?
Yeah.
And you're based off what you're saying, you should be your type of archetype should be running for governor. But would you run for governor making $95,000 a year? Is what I'm
It
saying.
can't be about the money. It's got to be about the position and the policies and the change you want to make.
So you're saying you don't care about Arizona enough to make a change then?
I do care.
I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger cared enough about
California?
and he was successful. He didn't need the money. The money meant nothing to him at that point. He just wanted to make a change.
Like,
But
I know,
I think he
but-
screwed up a bunch of things.
But
Trump
if
wanted to
you
make a
think it's
change,
someone,
he ran.
the people that
That's what I mean. Trump wanted to make a change. He didn't need the money.
are qualified, they're going to look at that job. I'm going to get paid $95,000 a year. I have to leave my whole business behind for the next 4 years. They're going to leave everything behind. They're going to get the most scrutiny because of whatever happens in the state, even if it's not their fault, if it's a wildfire here in Arizona, they're going to be the ones to blame.
A lot of people do it. Or they do Congress or U.S. Senate.
Then why isn't our country better? If you say that the people, the most
Because there's
successful
not
people,
enough. Because you still got all the people that have been in there for 40, 50 years.
So then they're
like
not
the
doing it.
Pelosi's of the world.
So then they're not.
No, they shoot them out. They scoot them out.
So then you should be, people like you should be. This is what I'm,
You
this is what I'm
should.
going-
You're fighting for this.
I'm fighting for you to join because I'm based on your.
Hey, easy solution. Both join.
Yeah. We got.
just run against
Well, dude,
each
you
other.
have to be a psychopath to want to do it.
Chris can be the Democrat.
I'm not getting voted in. I smoke too much weed, according to Chris.
I have a felony. That was like we're having a hard time
so
voting
does,
for a
so
president.
does Trump. He's still running for
I know,
president.
that's why I'm
He's
voting
got
for him.
34. He's got you beat.
Yeah,
I don't think he has 34 felonies.
34 and 1.
I think he was charged with 34 counts. Yeah.
Well, this kind of goes into the next topic of his possibly getting rid of his Secret Service.
Okay, so we can talk about that. So that Antonio, I sent you that. So that's called the Disgraced Former Protectees Act, right? That is this one. Yep. No,
that the-
the other one. Go to the other one.
Is that the attachment you sent me? Where they're
It's
gonna
like
try to
HR
remove-
808. Yeah,
That's
that
it.
one.
So the HR 80881. So basically, what that is for Trump. They didn't do this for Trump in their opinion.
Well,
Their
it's not
minds.
even. It's just
they're-
proposed.
It's proposed. They're trying to pass this, right? So what this does is, if you look at it closely, they'll take away the Secret Service. So scroll down a little bit.
Well, look at the people representing this.
Well,
They're
Mississippi-
Democrats. So that guy, Benny G. Thompson, he's literally he's a chairman on the board or whatever to investigate the January 6th riot.
Yes,
So he
they-
already doesn't like Trump.
they're all going against. This is specifically for Trump, but if it passes, it'll be for every president. But obviously, every president isn't convicted felon, right?
Well, we all know why they're trying to do this for Trump.
Well, if they take so what they'll do is they'll take away the Secret Service, okay, and then so if they get him in prison, they can just murder him, you know, kind of like they did Epstein, right? So, but if you think about, so in 2012, I think it was Barack Obama or 13. Barack Obama had passed former President's Protection Act, and so before 2013, the President's Protection Act would only protect them for 10 years, right? But Barack Obama proposed that it become a lifetime for the president and their wife, right, and the children up to 16 years old. So, and they get salaries and all that stuff, right? So Barack Obama, a smart guy, he knew like, hey, I want to get paid for life, right? Something happened, so he wanted to protect like the president before him, right? Bill Clinton, probably George Bush. You know, they're all co-aligned today. But this bill, if it's passed, it literally, they can use it. You can mess up one place, and they use it against you. It doesn't have all the verbiage. We have to go through and look up like the sections and stuff.
So Barack Obama, for a random story, me and Elena last year we went to Honolulu. What's Honolulu Island? Oahu? Is that the island? So we went to Oahu and we were on the back side of it, where I think it's Lanakai, but that's where Obama has his house that he's building. Yeah. And it was kind of funny because they were building the house, but they had armed security all around the house being built.
Yeah. Well,
it's kind of humorous.
So basically what it is they get like X amount of dollars. The Secret Service basically say like $800,000 a year or whatever it is that's allotted.
This term, it talks about imprisonment of at least a year. So he has to be in prison for at least a year, right? So that's what it's talking about. He has to be in prison for a year in order to lose it.
So or state offense that is punishable to a term of imprisonment of punishable. Doesn't mean you have to stay in there, punishable. Yeah. So basically it's saying like, hey, and what it is deny certain felons Secret Service, certain felons. So basically they'll be able to pick and choose if someone messes up in the future, or now, who doesn't get Secret Service?
Well, yeah, because they could just do, you got a 2-year sentence or take parole.
No,
but then wouldn't that be in a theory have a punishable sentence?
It's convicted felon.
Okay, so I wasn't reading any of it.
Go back up a little bit.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So denying infinite security and government resources allocated towards convicted and extremely dishonorable former protectees act.
Okay.
The question is, what does dishonorable former protectees, dishonorable former, right? So now, does that anyone that's maybe not convicted but they're dishonorable? So they're using it. It's a weapon now to be able to murder anyone at any time.
Well, yeah, it's all based off of judgment, right? And that's not really based off like true. If you're punishing someone and you say extremely dishonorable, that's very subjective to whatever the person thinks.
Exactly.
So,
well, it's like the military. When you get dishonorably discharged, they don't take care of you. They don't pay you whatever they pay people whenever they leave and stuff.
Yeah. So, but they just came up with this with Trump. Obviously, he's the first president to be convicted of a felony, which, is kind of a hoax in itself. With the whole case, they went and took the case from federal to state court. They charged them with, if you look at the charges, I had looked them up, they're like the same 3 or 4 things over and over and over and over.
Yeah, it's all just check. It's just because he put it in the ledger wrong.
Yeah.
And they did it multiple times. So he's charged for every time he got paid out.
Yeah, so there's like 3 charges, I think.
So was that bill proposed before or after?
Before. No, they knew it was coming. They started the whole deal. They proposed the thing. They knew all this was going to happen.
Well, yeah.
We kind of all knew this was happening.
Yeah.
Their game plan has been laid out for us, probably a year or so ago when they first started doing this.
People were hoping that he wasn't convicted, and the whole time, the whole system already knew what was going to happen. Well, it was inevitable.
Well, let's just say this does pass, because everything that they've done that goes against Trump has passed. So let's just assume that it's going to pass, because everything that they've done again has gone against Trump. Do you think this helps Trump or is worse for Trump? In my personal opinion, I think it helps him out more. I think he could get his own protection services. I think people would volunteer to do that. But I think it actually helps Trump more because every time they do something to Trump, you know, he got convicted. No one gave a shit. No one gives a shit. I don't care.
What do you mean you don't care? You're still going to vote for a felon?
I am. 100%.
Well, if it's him and Biden, yeah, I'm 100% voting for him.
I think a lot of people are going to vote for Trump just because they don't want Biden.
Yeah.
It's like the last time people voted for Biden because they didn't want Trump.
Now it's the opposite. They're flip-flops.
Yeah, because they realized Biden's actually retarded.
Hey, do your flip-flops have a can opener on the bottom of them?
Mm-hmm.
You got to get those for your podcast, bro.
I don't drink like that. I don't drink.
He's not
like
doing
that.
it at the beach.
He said he don't drink like 20 times and you still say
Yeah.
No, for your guests. You said that you drink.
Well, I have whiskey for them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So it should be high
So he's
whiskey.
high end.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
some high end. It's expensive whiskey. I just don't drink it. It's been aged an extra 3 years.
What?
So it's been sitting there, dust on it, on the bottle.
So you guys would vote for a felon?
Yeah.
Well,
Dude,
depends on,
I'm more of
depends
a
on the felon.
I'm more of a Kennedy guy.
Yeah, murderer.
Well, yeah.
Would you vote for a murderer?
Depends on what kind of murder.
Did you vote for Barack?
I wasn't able to vote.
Would you have voted for Barack?
I mean, I was 18, so yeah.
Right.
I would have voted for Barack because he is a good statesman.
Well, isn't he a murderer?
Well,
Was he a murderer
Depend-
then
well,
or
he-
after?
The
well,
second term, he's
did he
officially
kill
a
someone
murderer.
with his bare hands though? Is
No,
that
but-
considered, what's considered a murderer?
I don't know.
This is just like.
Oh, I don't know, but if the
Yeah.
guy, his cook died on his property in his lake.
But did he kill him?
The ship.
I mean, I don't know if
I don't know, that's
if
kinda
there's a
mysterious, bro.
if there's a former military guy running
Yeah,
for president and
he's killed people.
he's agreed and he's killed people, he's a murderer. I would vote for him.
He killed Michael to make Michelle.
But yeah, it just depends on the type of charges they have.
Yeah.
Because a felony is very broad. Like I had a felony. It's off my record, but I had a felony for weed. I had 1/2 gram of weed and I got a felony.
Class 6
So,
felony, designated misdemeanor.
yeah.
something
Well,
like
I got
that.
it taken off my record because
Yeah.
I did my drug testing stuff. But I mean, if you're charged with a drug, I mean, people with drug charges should not be felons. I think they should have a different classification. So I guess it just depends on what kind
Any
of felony
drug
they
or
have.
like specific drugs?
Any drugs. It's not their fault. It's a mental issue. It's not
Are you talking about like doing the drug or selling the drug?
both.
So you're saying it's
Why are
okay
they
to
s-
sell fentanyl?
Why are they selling it?
Maybe
For
the
money?
government
I
gave
don't-
it
if
to
I'm
them.
gonna sell drugs, I'm gonna sell it to make money.
It's not their fault. They're in a shitty situation. You got to make money somehow.
So you're saying they can sell fentanyl?
They're already selling it.
You're
Like,
saying they shouldn't be get a felony if they sell fentanyl and like 20
Well, they should
people
just make
killed-
drugs legal.
20 people killed with the
What?
fentanyl.
If they just made drugs legal, none of this would be happening. You wouldn't be building the biggest business, right?
He's kind of right because the reason why we have bad batches is because it's illegal and everybody's using all kinds of different chemicals to create these things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go
and
out of
they're
their way.
Yeah, they're making, and they're all getting this.
If it's legal, it's regulated. That means there's certain chemicals in it. We know what's in it.
Well,
and
one
then,
of the.
oh, go ahead.
What were you saying?
Well, just by proxy too, we're strengthening China because all the resources to make fentanyl come to Mexico. They're from China.
Everything's from China.
So we're strengthening China's economy by allowing the cartel to be, flowing and letting all this drugs into our country and making a profit off of it. We're subsequently, helping China out as well.
I'm
So
curious your guys' thoughts on this concept because actually when I visited Vancouver, Canada, it's obnoxiously clean. It's super wealthy. Your average car is
Did
like
you
a
see
Lamborghini.
Trudeau?
No, I would have shot him. So how they have it structured though is because it's districts, and one of their districts, I don't remember what they called it because I was only there for a little bit, but they have this 2-3 block area where it's nothing but just homeless people. They have free range to do drugs, do whatever you want as long as it's in that, and they don't go into the city. But of course, there's just nothing but dead bodies, people strung out. It looks like The Walking Dead because we drove by it.
Where at?
Well, the
In
issue is
Vancouver,
contained
Canada?
at that,
Oh,
it's
they were
contained
saying
at
San
that point.
Francisco.
But they sacrifice so much street and then salvage the remaining part of Vancouver. What is your guys' thoughts on something like that?
I like that.
They did that
the
in
issue's contained. Yeah,
they
it's
did that
not
in
spreading.
California, and look how that's going. Look
No,
at,
it's all over the place though now.
Yeah, look at
Oh, just 'cause they have
downtown
Skid
LA.
Row?
Yeah, Skid Row was.
Yeah, but it went all over. It's all over freeways. It's everywhere.
I know, but going back to this point, you said, how do you think it would be? We've tried it. Like we did Skid Row. We tried containing it in one area. That's where the Cecil Hotel is at, and all the crazy shit that happened there. We wanted to contain them there, but now it's expanded so big. It's all of downtown LA. I don't know if you guys know who Dr. Carl Anthony Hart is. He's one of the head doctors at MAPS. They use drugs to help veterans and stuff like that to get over their PTSD and stuff. But he's a professor at Columbia, and he actively does heroin, real heroin. He was a drug professor. He said, I don't even know what these drugs are doing to people. I'm judging them without doing it. Like, these chemicals aren't bad for humans unless you lace it. So he actively does these drugs, and he says it's not bad if you have the real stuff.
The real stuff.
So if you're the reason why you're seeing these people on the streets, like you're saying, dead and stuff, is because they're getting some tainted drugs. They're reusing their needles. They're getting stuff that's way too strong for them. They don't know what they're getting. They're getting told it's 10 milligram, but it's really a 40. And now they're gone.
True.
And it's because it's not regulated. But people are going to go up in arms like, oh, why do you want to legalize all drugs? If you legalize all drugs, we already have the legal drugs. It's called Adderall and painkillers. We have the same drugs that they're taking. They're just legal because they're coming.
Well, we have amphetamines. We have
Adderall is
lidocaine. They use that to lace cocaine. There's all kinds of different.
Yeah, but we already have legal processes to make all this stuff, and it's already legal. You just have to get a prescription. So why not just make all drugs legal?
It's a theory.
Well, the one thing, because you actually touched on something that's kind of off topic from this, but you talked about all the drugs and stuff coming over the border. Mm-hmm. The one thing I've realized that's the biggest part is actually the people coming over the border, and not even because of like illegals, Hispanic stuff like that, but because of all like the different Hamas people that are flying into Mexico then walking into the
terrorists.
U.S. Yeah, the terrorist organization people associated. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Oh, we need better border control.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's terrible.
I know people don't like talking about it, but it's true.
Yeah, the border's a mess. Even their new policies Biden's trying to create to get a few votes, they suck still. You can't just let people. That's like, opening my front door and just be like, hey guys, come in, take whatever you want. Come and go whatever you want. There's food's right there, and my wife's right there, and my daughters are right there. Have at it. That's what the government's done. They're letting people come in and do whatever the hell they want with whoever they want, and there's no repercussions, and they don't even know who the hell is in here.
Yeah. I think it's more sad for the people that are coming here thinking they're getting a better life, because on their social media, what they're seeing is that they're going to get a prosperous life here in America, but really they're just being used as a vote.
No, that's all it is.
So they're coming here. They might not even be bad people. They're just the males. Hey, I have to go work. I have to go feed my family. Got to get money to them somehow. So I'm gonna go to America. And I'm seeing all these videos. It's a prosperous place. I could go make my dream come true. Get my family out of this shithole country. Yeah. And they come over here, and now they're just used as a vote. And now there can be homeless people, homeless encampments, and now they don't even know what they got themselves into.
Well, and there's more crime, because now that if they came from a crime-infested country or city in that country, they're used to that. That's why you see these people beating up police and all that stuff, because that's what they would do in their country. Mm-hmm. They'd beat up the police officers.
Well, they're allowed to do it. There's no discipline. There's chaos.
So they come to America and they're doing this. They're acting the same way. Mm-hmm. They don't know any better.
Well, it's our fault for letting that happen. It's not their fault.
No,
we need to
allow it.
We need to apply discipline. There's no discipline being applied. And being a cop right now, if you do anything to someone that's colored, you're racist. So we've created bad stigmas, especially since 2020 with the George Floyd stuff. That have really screwed up our country. Because if you're going to be a cop, like I have a white cop, and he's considered, like, I make a joke, I'm like, dude, you're the most racist person here. Consider the most racist person because you're a white cop. Yeah. And he agrees. He's like, yeah, dude, a lot of people just think I'm racist because I'm a white cop, and I go up to people, and they just assume they assume the worst. They assume I'm going to shoot them.
And then you have to think about what you're actually doing, and
because they're always on camera.
You can't even think. You're just like, oh, he's about to kill them. Mm-hmm. I got to do something, and you're like, wait, I can't do that.
Cops, doing the worst stuff. You see cops shooting people just out of fear. And instead of being logically trained to shoot someone, this isn't a bad situation, I just pull out my taser.
Because now they have to think. And now, it's just, before it's just you react how you're trained. Mm-hmm. Now you have to actually think of, should I or should I not? And then that's when you make a bad decision.
Yeah, or you die.
Because all the training goes out the door of how you should have done it.
And then the cops don't get much training at all either. My friend, again, I go back to him. He has to voluntarily go in and run and get his own training in. They only do training in the beginning. They're not properly trained. Yeah. This may just be localized, but assuming it's all over the place. But they're not trained to do jiu-jitsu. They're not trained to fight. They're not trained properly.
They got the stigma of going into the freaking donut shop, bro.
Yeah, that's not a good stigma to have. I mean, most of the cops I look at, I'm like, I could outrun you. You're never catching me on foot.
And they're needed, though. The cops are needed.
Well, we need them more than ever.
Well, I don't know, but I feel like the cops I've seen in Arizona, they are all just they're like all supermodels, men and female, and they're all in super good shape. Because if we go to Washington State, where I'm from, that's where you get a lot of donut boys. They're all big. Oh man, I love
New York. There's a lot of chubby ones in New York.
Oh, especially So when I was out that way in New Jersey,
they suck in New York. We literally walk down whatever road, and there's cops just chilling there on their phone.
They don't do nothing in New York.
I think that's probably more so because they're in environments where they're not really allowed to do anything. They're probably not going to do anything.
I know being a cop in New York probably sucks because all those protests and everything, and you just got to stand there.
You can't do nothing.
If you do something, then you
might as well become a security guard. unarmed.
Well, then it
security
goes
guards.
to like the Chads and it wasn't Washington or Oregon where they had the Chads where they made their own little town.
Chop shop, yeah.
Yeah, and look how quickly that went to shit without the police there.
Oh yeah.
So I think we need a lot more training for our police. And,
Yeah.
I think just discipline in general will help a lot more people get back to in order. Because in order to have order, you need discipline. If you just have
It's very true.
going to a child, if you let a child have free reign and don't discipline the child, what kind of human are you creating?
A girl that's a boy.
Well, not even that. You could create, if you have a boy, you give him the complete freedom. You create a conqueror, a Hitler kind of person. Someone that has never had discipline. Someone that's never been put in check.
Like someone that does mass murders at schools or something
And
like
they're
that.
just reacting
Yeah,
on every thought and feeling they have.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the kinds of kids you create. But the kids that have discipline, those are the kids that are going to be, the ones that have straight A's, the ones that are involved in sports, the ones that are actually doing good things. They may not have straight A's, but I didn't have straight A's.
I don't think any of us did.
I know.
but they're the ones that are doing well. You could tell, even though they fuck around and stuff, you could tell that they've been disciplined. They'll respect you.
They have just enough to have like a good head on their shoulders.
Yeah.
Where they're
Yeah.
not doing nothing dumb.
But if you let people have free reign, that's where you get chaos. That's where you get the destruction. And so if you let these people that are coming in through our borders just freely do whatever the fuck they want to do with no repercussions whatsoever. First, it looks bad because the citizens here, they'll get shit on for doing the same things that they're doing.
Yeah.
So it's it's kind of backhanding the current citizens, but then you're letting them do whatever they want.
Think about
They're robbing
the
people.
repercussions. Just say there's 5 million people they let in already, or 6 million, or whatever it is. And I mean, not everybody's bad, but just say a tenth of them are bad. 600,000 people, right, that are just running wild. We don't know who they are. They're running wild. When we went to New York the last time, and we're in one of the, I think it's called RX or whatever. They're like CVS stores over there. And no lie, there was a group of kids. Were you with us?
Probably not.
When we were in that, okay, I don't think you were. There was this kid that had jumped in front of my mother-in-law to use the restroom, right? And I think I told this story before. And so they're walking around through the store just grabbing stuff, throwing their bags. And the guy jumps in front to use the restroom. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? And he doesn't speak English, right? He was probably from South America or something. And I looked at him, I was like, I'm just going to let him just go ahead of her, right? So then he leaves, he gets out, she uses the restroom, we go outside, there's like 6 of them, all backpacks. They went in there and just started getting anything they want. No one could do nothing.
And imagine you did something.
That's what I said. I told my mother-in-law and everybody, I was like, imagine if I would have called this dude out. As soon as I would have went outside, they would have beat the crap out of me or killed me right there. Mm-hmm. Right there.
And that's
it was. Remember we went out the store and then you went to the basketball game.
Yeah, when I went to the next game.
It was right there. Do you remember
those kids that were right there with the backpack? Okay,
I took a picture of them. Yeah. They were in there and
they were standing there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, they look like they definitely would have done something.
Yeah, they look like they just got their free credit card. They stole all kinds of stuff in the store. I seen them. They all had backpacks, and they were just looking for trouble. They might have even been the kids that beat up the cop.
Yeah.
No, it's so. But going back to the police, when I was young, all the police when I was young were really buff, like muscular, fit. But those are the gang squads, So that's the only police I dealt with.
Yeah.
The SWAT and the gang squad, but they were like you respected them. The people wanted to be a police officer. They get in the gang units, but that stuff's gone.
Yeah, the 2020 stuff really kind of ruined it, and it wasn't even. Yeah, the Derek Chauvin didn't have the best form whatsoever on the dude's neck, but it came out that a lot of what could have killed him was the drugs inside of his system. So
you talking about Floyd?
Yeah.
Oh, I think they said it was
a drug.
Fentanyl.
Yeah,
it had fentanyl inside of it.
So that put a bad stigma on cops. And then if you want, have you seen the most jack cop? You want to know who the most jack cop is?
Oh.
Look at Ronnie Coleman.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I know.
Look at Ronnie Coleman.
You're talking about the bodybuilder guy?
Yeah, Ronnie Coleman.
Can't even walk. Poor guy.
Look up his police. Look up police. Look at him, dude. Oh, it still shows the same thing. Look at that. You're not doing anything to this
Was he a
guy.
real police officer?
Yeah, real police officer.
When he was younger?
Yeah, well, he was still bodybuilding. This is before, I think, his first competition.
Yeah, a lot of guys become like marshals or sheriffs or
Like, look at that. Imagine this dude in short-ass shorts coming up to you, knocking.
What is it called when you join like part-time?
Coast Guard?
No, for police, any of them. Like if you join military police.
Oh,
like
reserve.
Reserve. Yeah, you can do that for police officers too.
Yeah, he was a real police officer. He said no one ever did anything to him, but I can see why. Like,
He looks like he's probably a really nice guy, so.
Well,
yeah.
lightweight, baby. He'll throw you around.
No, yeah. If he grabs you, he's definitely tossing you real quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, police are definitely needed. They got no power, so maybe we'll restore that. With the new.
Maybe you should be
when you run for governor of Arizona, you could fix the.
Hey,
police
at
station.
one time I did think about becoming like a reserve police officer or something because I want to give back. It sounds like you don't want to give back, but we'll pray for you.
Me?
I'm gonna go to your Love International, and we're
Pay me $1,000. You're gonna see me there, 9 a.m. front row. Not really front row.
They say pay him
If you pay me
$1,000.
$1,000, I'll go too.
Give me 1,500.
That's not bad, right?
I'll preach this Sunday.
It's $1,000, right?
No.
You said you make a bet. I'm making my bet.
Anyways,
Easy dub. If you want to go into betting,
Well,
yeah.
if you need the money to pay him, you can just get into Congress.
hey, so
Become governor.
so going back to Trump's conviction is, do you think someone like deserves a second chance? If they're convicted, his is like light duty stuff. Yeah, he slept with a chick, or he says he didn't. I don't know if he did or didn't, but America's about second chances, and people forget that the people who are going down his throat need a second chance now, or have already had a second chance, or a third or fifth chance. But do you think that America's built on second chances, and that people deserve a second chance?
100%. Everyone. I mean, look at you. If you didn't get a second chance, you probably wouldn't be sitting there.
Exactly right. So I have a felony, and it was a dangerous crime, but obviously I changed my life. That's like, Jesus, 24, 25 years ago, right? And so if I didn't get a second chance, we wouldn't be right here. A lot of people deserve a second chance. So it's like, you can't just go after someone because, someone made a post on the YouTube. I was reading it this morning. He did it 2 weeks ago. I know the guy. And he's like, Trump, his university, he bankrupted this. That's business. A lot of people in business, they go out of business. They make mistakes. You get you overdid it, I mean, how many people have foreclosed on their houses? Does that make you a bad person, or file bankruptcy? I'm sure that guy actually, I know the guy. I can tell you exactly what he did. I won't say it here, but he's no one to be bashing anybody. You know what I mean? But it's like, we need second chances, and we need to believe in something that's a second chance, right? You can't just cut someone off.
Is there any second chance you don't believe somebody should get?
Yeah. Child molestation, rape. Those are the two. Those are like the two.
So why should they not get one opposed to you getting one?
Because you don't touch a baby. You don't take something from someone that's, and that goes with murder.
Touch
too.
the innocence, right?
Yeah. You just don't do that. That's like a code. And the only reason why I didn't say murder is because you may have to murder someone to live. Self-defense, that's still murder.
Yeah.
But definitely rape and some sort of molestation, sex crime against a minor.
Yeah, I think the minor stuff is very...
Yeah, you can't... You don't come back from that.
It's off limits. But if you want to talk Bible stuff, Jesus, he didn't go to the perfect people.
No, he went up to the jacked up people.
You got asked, why do you keep going to these people that are sick, the unwanted people? You go to the prostitutes, help out the homeless people, help out people that had all these diseases. And why would you do this? He's like, well, if you're perfect, why do you need my help?
Yeah.
So all these people that if basically just off the Bible, it's all off interpretation anyways. He helped all the tax collectors. He helped them out. What was that? That was Matthew. He was a tax collector. And then he helped all the prostitutes. The prostitute came up to it and touched his back. He's like, oh, why'd you touch me? Because he felt some of his power go away or whatever.
Yeah.
And she's like, I had all the faith. And he's just because of your faith in me, you're healed. And this lady was a prostitute. And doing, all these people are egregious people. And he's helping them out. He's going to them first before the other people that are quote unquote perfect, the Pharisees and stuff like that. So if you want to say people have second chances, I believe people should get multiple chances depending on what they do. If they fuck up and they're accountable for their fuck up, and they make the changes, you can forgive them. But if they keep fucking up over and over and over again, and then you see this as a trend, it's not a mistake. It's a habit at that point.
So should we give Biden a second chance to do better?
That dude's an idiot.
If that's what you're saying, then we have to, right?
He's proven to us over and
no,
over.
We've already given him 3 years of chances.
Well, this is before, even if you want to go before presidency, he's given us.
No, I know he sucks.
He sucked before.
I think it's funny.
I'm basing off historical data here.
All you gotta do is look at his kids.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
he got married to his baby or his kid's babysitter, so
Who did?
Biden.
That was his babysitter?
His kid's babysitter. They're like 14, 15 years apart. You look it up.
I thought you were about
What
to
do
say
you
she
mean
was
his
14
kid's
years old.
babysitter?
His wife is his kid's babysitter.
Oh, that's not their mom?
I don't know. It's not their mom.
Or their mom is the baby?
Biden. Just look up. Is
Seems like
Biden's
she's his
wife?
babysitter.
I think her name is
Hey,
Jill
she's
Biden.
still a babysitter? She's his babysitter today?
Yeah.
Well, she's doing really bad with Hunter.
Oh,
Yeah, that guy's a mess.
She was a babysitter. They didn't start dating when she was 14, but
There it is. Post falsely claimed. That says falsely claimed.
but that's when she was dating. That's before his first wife died.
Go on TMZ News. I trust them.
So
Actually,
they
they're
met
not
when
bad.
she
They
was a
talked about
teenager?
it on PBD. Did Joe Biden marry his babysitter?
So
TikTok.
That's
on
gonna be-
TikTok. Just look up that question. Did Joe Biden?
And we can do it after we look this up. But then back to the second chance. What does somebody have to realize in themselves to get that second chance, or
Well,
open up the possibility for them to have
I think
it?
it takes time to
look at the AP News.
Associated Press.
Yeah. So right here, the claim is Joe Biden first met Joe Biden, who was a teenager, babysat his kids.
False.
She was in her early 20s.
Oh, so
The fact is Joe Biden met Joe Biden when he was still a senator. 2 years later, they were married. They talked about this on PBD. They had all the
So
documents
they're going
on
off
there.
their own social media posts?
other widespread posts called Joe Biden a pedo, and claimed the president was dating his wife when she was 13.
It was after she was their babysitter.
Well, they're also saying that he was taking showers with his daughter.
Yeah.
When she was a little older.
So the claim was.
I'm curious how old she was.
Yeah, I saw it on PBD. I may be wrong, but I saw it on PBD that
No, it's saying the same thing, kind of what you're saying.
that they met when she was a babysitter, but then they didn't get married until she was in her 20s.
So that's probably what it is. It's
But
probably
that's still a little weird.
um
Because then, if you think about it, let's just say, for example, Chris's babysitter. Say Chris had a babysitter when he was, 10 years old.
yeah,
You found that babysitter attractive that was watching Chris,
and she was 14.
and she was 14, and then you waited till that's essentially grooming a child.
Oh yeah, that's kind of so. But going back, so the Bible, it's about second chances.
The New Testament.
Yeah,
Even in the Old Testament.
Yeah,
as well.
if you think about all these guys, they actually would change their name, and like they kind of started all over again. Like, again, is if there's remorse, if there's regret, if there's thankfulness, if there's forgiveness, that's where like second chance come in. Like, are they learning? But it takes time, right?
You'd say like a change of the heart.
Yeah, but it takes time because you got to earn the trust back, right?
Yeah.
What Trump's not like this crazy. He was a businessman. He got into the Apprentice show, Then he got into politics. He's seen a need, right? It's not like he's this vicious guy. The people that are vicious are the ones that have been in the politics in that world in the White House for 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the real criminals. Those are the real ones that are causing war and robbing people and all that stuff, legally. Trump, I mean, his first term, he lost $1 billion his first term. Now he's worth more now because he has a Truth Social, all that stuff. But yeah, it's earning the respect and showing, hey, I'll fight for you. Obviously, if some dude's a bum and he's not, not showing it, like the dude, Trump's still going and like he's fighting for what he believes in. The guy does not have to do what he's doing. He doesn't have to do it. He's a billionaire. A
lot of people that are convicted felons don't have to do what they're doing. They still do it. I mean, they're going back just to the original topic.
Yeah.
You're reverting back. So you're going off on a Trump topic, right?
Yeah.
A Trump rant. So, but yeah, I think just basing off your point, I think a lot of people deserve second chances.
A lot of people.
I just didn't want you going off a rant on Trump, and then we're sitting here talking about how you're so mad that Trump is convicted. You're so pissed off, and and then you start getting angry headed, and you bring out your Trump hat, and then we go.
Dude, that's a
down.
nice hat. I think
is
I'm
a
gonna
nice
sell
hat.
it for $8,000. If you've seen my post with the MAGA hat, white one, $8 grand. You can
Signed
buy
by
it.
Trump.
Signed by Trump. I'll sell it to you right now for $8 grand. All right, so we're talking. I mean, you guys brought up Hunter Biden. Like, have you seen the news on him? He was convicted of three felonies. So I looked up the felonies. They're like weak sauce felonies. They're federal offenses. It was basically what it is he bought a gun, and you get a questionnaire if you guys have ever purchased. Have you purchased a legal firearm? Have you? Mm-hmm. No one. So you get a questionnaire and you have to answer these questions. And if you lie, like that's a federal offense. So he lied.
So yeah, the drug charges.
He was high as a kite when he was buying the gun, right?
Mm.
So
Nice.
that's where the charges are. Is he lied on his forms, right? And so it's a tit for tat. And I was telling someone, I said, think about this. Like, look at Joe Biden. Can they see, the audience can see Joe Biden in that picture? So they're like, Joe Biden's like, look, son, you're going to have to take one for a team. Yeah, I'm going to convict you so I can get Trump convicted.
Well, that's not even what's going to happen. I think they need to do this. They need to do it
That's what I'm
for
saying.
their employee. But he's going to get pardoned. I mean, these are...
No, he's not. Well, what's his name said he's not going to pardon him.
Well, nothing's going to happen to him. He's just going to get
Nothing's
charged.
going to happen to him.
But in
they're
general-
doing this on purpose, so it's a show. That way they can say, look,
Fair.
Trump's, to make it fair. Look, Trump got it, and so did my son.
But this guy also has videos of him smoking meth on his laptop.
Oh, this guy got all kinds of crazy stuff. That guy's a wacko. He's a whack job.
I think it's kind of fucking cool. He doesn't give a shit. Like, he doesn't care that his dad's running the fucking world. He doesn't care that his dad's...
well, because he knows nothing's going to
he's
happen.
not going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
That's why he don't care.
What?
The guy's got a free pass for everything. Wait till no matter who, like his free pass ends now, obviously.
Well, I mean, just look at we see in all the movies. We see even with history, all the princes that were given all the power, without earning it.
Yeah.
Let's just say you won the lottery. You didn't earn any of the money.
You're going to
never
lose
learned-
it no matter what.
You never learn what to do with the money. You're just going to blow it. You're going to do stupid shit. Hookers and cocaine. That's all you're going to do.
Yeah, that's
And,
him. Hookers and cocaine.
when you're given all this power, when your dad is...
Setting up Ukraine deals, China deals.
Oh, yeah. His dad has a lot of power, regardless of what people think about him. He's a very powerful man throughout his whole years doing it. So when your dad's has that kind of power to get you out of whatever you want to get out of, you're going to become a crazy lunatic, especially if there's going back to no discipline. If there's no discipline for whatever he does.
Look at him. He's like, how old is he? 54? Dude has never been spanked in his life. Look at him.
He doesn't look bad for 54.
No,
he looks
has
like a young guy.
He's got like no teeth and all kinds of crazy
We
stuff.
should probably
going
be doing some meth right now.
on. Legal meth. You said legal
Some
meth.
Adderall. Yeah, get on some Adderall.
Anyways, nothing's gonna happen to that dude. They're just using it as a ploy. That way it makes sense to people of the Trump conviction, right? Look at him. He had like his sister-in-law and his girlfriend in the same. She was the same person, I think. But
yeah, he doesn't look like. He's a great artist. His art sells for hundreds of thousands of dollars. So I think when
he's terrible.
He sells art?
Yes, he's terrible.
Look at his artwork's pretty good.
Look at his artwork. Look at Hunter Biden artwork.
He just
didn't
looks
know
like
that.
a politician.
Yes. This is an idiot.
Dude, it's not bad art.
No,
That's more contemporary.
your
You
house, Chris.
gotta
I don't
have
think.
taste
I
for
don't
that.
even think he did those.
This is not bad art.
I don't think he did any of them.
But let's just
Like,
say,
let's see a
he's
video.
not a starving artist.
Let's see a video of him completing a
right
whole
there. There's
project.
a picture right there of him painting.
He ain't painting any of it.
Hey, watch next time we go to Chris's house. He's gonna have a bunch of them.
Yeah, he's like,
Hunter Biden photos. It's
250 grand each.
It's actually not that bad.
a bunch of junk.
But you kind of need to be some sort of crazy to be a decent artist, right?
That's not a... I don't think you'll see a video of it. He don't look like he's...
No, they're not going to show anything.
Not
of him.
Bob
He ain't
Ross.
painting any of those pictures.
No, that's just how he makes his money from Ukraine.
Yeah, I know it's
yeah.
all
Laundering.
laundering.
They-
It's
they-
kind of like the drug dealers that have a little liquor
Ukraine
store or
president
something.
buying a painting from him for $15 million.
It's
You actually?
No, I'm just...
Oh,
I think
Yeah.
I think the average I think it was 500,000 it sold for Hunter Biden's paintings.
Average?
I think that's his most expensive. I think that was around 250 each.
That's
Uh,
insane.
Yeah, that's definitely some money laundering type stuff.
Yeah, he sold a total of 1.5 million.
That's just what they're publishing.
That looks 54, bro.
That looks 54. That's just the pictures, just the angle right there.
Let him smile. I think. Well, no, he's got fake teeth. I'm sure.
But to be a great artist, you have to do a little bit of meth. Look at Edgar Allan Poe. He was on probably some heroin. I don't know if you know who Edgar Allan Poe is.
Yes.
That dude was dark stuff.
Yeah, some dark poetry.
Yeah, he ain't painting any of that. I look at pretty sketchy. Look at.
We should just start an art club.
New art is again very subjective. I heard this guy on a short or a reel. He said he makes artwork. He has someone. I don't know if he pays someone. It's probably illegal if he pays someone to appraise it. And then so let's say they appraise it for $50,000. He goes to the bank and takes a credit out against his artwork for $50,000 and gives him the artwork. So now essentially he just sold his artwork for $50,000 and now he
crazy.
got pocketed. So with
That's
artwork,
crazy, yeah.
it's all subjective, and you can make a shit ton of money
It's
doing
like
that.
you can do that with any business. Actually, you bill against it. Like like if we have certain sales, if we have a certain amount of sales, we say, hey, we got $10 million of projected profits. You know, we want to borrow 2 against it. They'll vet us, right?
But you're comparing a business to someone's artwork.
It's the same thing. That's their business. If it's worth it,
they could just make it and have whatever. Like, let's just say you become an appraiser, an art appraiser. But hey, Chris, I need you to appraise this. You know,
you bottom.
I'll help you out. I'll give you a little bit off the top.
I'm sure that happens.
Yeah, so you don't need to be good at artwork.
So
You just need to know the appraiser.
Yeah,
Right.
but in the
Appraiser.
art world, you kind of have to have a name. So in
No, you
that
don't.
community,
No, not if you build it.
if I go and draw
I feel like that guy
take
the
a
other
picture
day.
of something, and I go have it, I'm not gonna get it appraised for
You
50
can.
grand.
You could get it appraised for 50 without having this dude. I didn't even know this dude's name. He said he was not even a great artist, and it's on. It's probably getting hard to find this guy, but as long as someone else thinks it's worth 50,000, that's all that matters. It doesn't even matter about your name. As long as someone says I would pay 50 grand for this, that's all that matters. It's like if you're selling a product, and it doesn't matter what the cost is. Someone's gonna buy it.
Yeah.
It's how.
just that the value is enough to
Yeah,
them.
if you could build that value to make it worth it.
So I'm an awful artist, and I did art in junior high, and I mean I'm stick figure level. But we our final project, we had to choose any animal to paint, and I chose a dick. You can look that up. Look that up. Dick. D-I-K. A dick. That one in the grass. That grass one. I imitated that.
It's a deer, bro.
It's a mini deer, and I imitated that, but it was so good that I actually won the fair's best like artwork in the school district.
Did you trace it?
Huh?
You traced it?
I traced it and then I painted it.
And then
that was
see?
the only thing I've ever accomplished.
Very subjective. You one good artwork, and it could have been sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars. So.